EVO is the biggest fighting game tournament of the year where professionals from all over the globe gather to compete and to find out who is the best. This tournament just happened last week, and in the grand finals of Dragon Ball FighterZ, we had a mirror match between Blue Gogeta, Vegito, and 17. And in this video, we will be looking at not only EVO, but multiple different tournaments across the game's lifespan to find out exactly what type of team is the strongest. And let me tell you, after making this video, there's definitely a correlation between all the tournament winning teams. So I found 4 different tournaments, and I tried my best to have them from different time periods and from different regions, all the way up from 2023 to current day. And I found sets from North American players, European players, and Japanese players, just to prove a point on what is consistent throughout all of these for their team. But in the first one we're going to be looking at is the USA Regional Finals between SonicFox and Nitro. And what I want you guys to pay attention to is definitely their teams. So on Nitro's side of things, he's running Blue Goku, Kid Buu, UI, and Sonic is running base Vegeta, Beerus, and Majin 21. But the things I want you guys to pay attention to is the strategy of their team. So Nitro's strategy of his team is fairly simple. I have the team loaded up just to show you guys a little bit of what I'm talking about. So Nitro's strategy is basically revolved around Kid Buu and using this assist. For those who don't know, it is a extreme mix-up assist, the best mix-up assist in the game, and it effectively gives everyone, as long as you have an instant low, a 3-way guess, meaning you have to guess between 3 options. Low, same side overhead, and cross up. Basically, he wants to get in and loop this mix-up as much as possible and put immense amount of block stun pressure onto the opponent. So his team, you can effectively think of it as set play on neutral win. Meaning, if he wins neutral, you get put into a set play mix-up. Sonic's team, however, on the right is using a little different strategy, but in the same concept. While the team does have strong mix-ups that it can do in a block string, the main strategy of the team is to actually be able to set play the opponent after they get hit, meaning set play on hit. You see, there's that mix-up. Majin 21 no longer has her level 3 mix-up, as you're going to see in the video, but at the time she could do her level 3 and simply do an IED and make you guess between a left and right. It was extremely potent. And Beerus in the corner still has his very potent level 3 mix-up. High-low. So as you can see, kind of the same concept because it is using mix-ups and set playing mix-ups, but it's a bit different. Nitro's team, set play on a block string. Sonic's team, set play on hit. Now, the other key factors about these teams that I really want you guys to pay attention to are the assists, especially the assists that are defensive in nature. Notice how Blue Goku spawns a bit behind you and he kicks downwards, so he's kind of hard to hit, right? Same thing with Beerus A, where he actually spawns so incredibly fast to the point where he is unreactable, and if the opponent were to call the assist like this, as you can see, he kind of kicks the orbs and it goes everywhere, and it's kind of very hard to determine where they're going to go. So at least for the opponent, they might as well not even try to challenge the situation because it's extremely risky, right? These are basically the respective strategies of each team, so let's see how it plays out. So they're playing in neutral a little bit. Sonic gets the hit, and their strategy starts being enabled because once they get the hit, the set play starts. Now, for Nitro, he either has to spin his spark or basically just guess for the character. Let's see which one he chooses. So he guessed wrong, and he's going to lose his character. Keep in mind, because the strategies are ran this way, it's actually pretty difficult and scary to fight these teams in neutral because you are punished pretty heavily just for losing neutral. I think a little bit more in Nitro's case because the point of his team is to just punish you for losing neutral completely, and in Sonic's case is to punish you for getting hit. But Sonic's team also has very strong mix-up, so that's not even really too big of an issue, so keep that in mind. So we fast forward a little bit, and Nitro is setting up one of his sequences, and notice how he wins neutral, and Sonic is forced to immediately spark the mix-up because that is a 3-way guess, and the chances of being right on that are about 33%, so it's not really worth it to take the mix-up. As you can see, it's very strong because he forced him to spin spark early. Nitro still has this spark. He kind of has the leverage for the rest of the match, right? So we're watching the match a little bit. Notice we're going to fast forward a little bit, and because of Nitro running his team strategy a bit more optimally it looks like he's going to win this game. It look a little bit scary, but with a little bit more interactions, he takes the W. Stop trolling me, Nitro. Please take the W. Come on. Come on. Come on. Thank you. So this sequence is a bit interesting, and I want you guys to pay attention to what just happened right here. And here, this is a little sneak peek on why certain teams are the strongest. What happens right here, right? So Sonic jumps at Nitro, and Nitro outmoves him and actually gets Sonic to block with a JM from Blue Goku. But as you can see, because Sonic called his defensive assist, Nitro actually had to stop after he won neutral and lose his turn. This is a really broken strategy to have in your team, and as you're gonna see with the other teams in the future, this is peak right here. This is what makes teams extremely strong. So a little more that happens right here. Nitro immediately gets the hit, and you're gonna notice how Nitro runs his strategy pretty optimally right here. So mix up, right? Point of this team. He gets a combo for it. And you're going to notice he's going to set up another mix-up extremely fast because he still has this Kid Boom mix-up. And this is going to be extremely cheap. Sonic's going to have to spark that immediately. But that little sequence kind of showed both of the teams being ran optimally and their sequences. Sonic will probably optimize into a mix-up right here. Looks like they dropped the combo, but you can already tell the strategy of what they're trying to do and how they're played. So we definitely fast forward a little bit to the end of the set because I wanted to see who the victor was. And it looks like it's going to be Nitro because he has one last mix-up. And yes, so Nitro won this set. He ran his team's strategy more optimally, it seems like, but as you can see, the strategies kind of have a very similar game plan going on, which was consistency on offense through either extreme mix-ups in a block string or a very potent level 3, and they both had a very strong defensive assist, Nitro side being Blue Goku A and Sonic side being Beerus A assist. On to the next tournament match in the grand finals between Kaiden and Wawa during the national championships of the Europe, as you can see on the bottom left. And as you can tell from the team, we already see some reoccurring things once again. Keep in mind, this is during the patch where UI was at his strongest when he first released, so his A assist is a very strong DP assist. Keep that in mind. But on Kaiden's team, you have UIA, which is a DP assist, Kefla, and 18. Notice how Kaiden actually has 2 of these invincible assists because UIA, like I mentioned, was completely invincible during that time, and 18 assist was actually a barrier assist. He's running the barrier assist, which is just a pure shield. So notice he's running 2 defensive assists, and because Android 18 has a very powerful level 3 mix, as we all know, a reoccurring theme, as you can see. On Wawa side of things, again, the UI mirror, the over-reliable, especially during that time, which is another defensive assist, right? But he's also running Vegito A, which is, I mean, as we all know, one of the strongest defensive assists in the game, if not the best of them all. And you have Base Goku, which is a very strong level 3, a very strong mix-up after his level 3. So notice how, even though these are 6 completely different characters from what we just seen previously in the Nitro versus Sonic Grand Finals, and this is actually during a different patch as well, the team strategies, or at least what makes the team, are pretty similar. Defensive assists plus some sort of consistency on offense. So already off the bat, you're going to see that Wawa calls Vegito defensively like this, and even though Kaiden got him to block, you immediately get hit because it is a defensive assist. As you can tell, this is an extremely powerful strategy, and as you're going to keep on seeing, which is what is usually actually winning in tournaments. So right here, as you're going to see, Wawa's going to actually run at Kaiden and call the UIA assist. And you're going to notice Kaiden is going to be very perspicacious in that he actually won't even try to challenge the situation, even though it looks like Wawa did kind of a bad jump in, right? But it's because he's aware that he has a defensive assist, so the threat of that assist alone, in that being that if Kaiden tried to take his turn by pressing a button like you just seen him get hit initially, he will get hit by the assist. Because he is so scared of that happening, you're going to see he's actually not even going to try to challenge the situation. He's going to get away. And that mind game that just happened is the reason why defensive assists are so powerful, and you're seeing it so often on these teams. Because the threat of the assist is so powerful, even some of the best players in the world won't even challenge a situation, which in theory should be their turn to just do whatever they want, they won't even challenge it because they're too scared of what will happen if they were to call the assist. So fast forwarding a little bit, here's another interaction that happens. Kaiden actually presses a pretty negative move full screen, completely out of range of it even coming in contact. And a lot of people look at that and be like, why did he just do that? But it's because he's actually trying to bait Wawa into the defensive assist, meaning that he wants to get Wawa to think, oh, I can punish this, and then he's going to call the defensive assist, and it's actually going to hit him for trying to punish what Kaiden just did. So I'm going to rewind it a little bit, and you can see how this plays out. And this is another really effective strategy being used by defensive assist, and it employs so many different types of mind games. As you can see, Wawa tried to approach because he saw Kaiden whiff something, and Kaiden actually got a free hit. And if this mind game's hitting Wawa, it's hitting everyone, right? Think of it like that. So we can fast forward a little bit to what actually happens a little bit, because you see both of these same strategy being used and kind of what is strong. Even that situation right there where he kind of ran up and just called his defensive assist just to see what happens, because he doesn't even really have to do anything. He could just call the assist and see what the opponent does, and the opponent makes a mistake like trying to take their turn, or even if they just block, no matter what really happens, it is in your favor, and it is very safe for that reason. And keep in mind, in tournament, safety is the name of the game. Consistency and safety are basically the same thing, right? And you can see how all these teams are kind of doing the same thing, right? And again, fast forward a little bit, it looks like Wawa's going to be the victor of this one. Another, once again, even against a sparking character, it's so strong that it can even relieve pressure. He just calls the defensive assist. Kaiden understands that and backs up. But because Vegito is broken, it doesn't really matter. It still hits him. You can see multiple instances of this happening. Playing Nitro a little bit more. He caught his defensive assist again, and it hit him again. This is another reason why Vegito is so powerful. And look at that. Look how much leverage he's getting by just calling the assist and doing nothing. Because if the opponent tries to do anything while the assist is active, then they just get hit. And it looks like Wawa is going to take this one. He definitely did. So let's go into the next match. So on to the next match. This is the national championship from the Japan side of things, and I wanted to throw a little bit of Japan in there just so you can see we have seen a set from the US, we have seen a set from Europe, and now we're going to look at Japan. And this one actually featured Goichi versus Kazunoko, two of the absolute legends of the game, so you know they're going to have some of the strongest teams they can think of. On Goichi's side of things, again, this is during the UI era, so you're always going to see UI. And think about why they keep picking him. Outside of him being really strong on point, it's because of that assist and how it forces and manipulates the opponent to deal with it, because it is completely invincible at the time, so it was very safe and very consistent. But on Goichi's side of things, again, you see Kid Buu, this time using the C assist. I think it's because Goichi values the neutral control of having a beam assist a little bit over the A assist having mix up. I personally wouldn't do so, but he's Goichi, I'm not, so take it with a grain of salt. But he has a horizontal beam assist, GTA assist, which is a anti-airing beam assist, and a DP assist, so he has full neutral control. That team is purely meant to have neutral control. As you can see, it's not really even having that much set play on hit. There's no really potent level 3 mix going on, but it looks like he's trading that just for pure consistent neutral control. On Kazunoko's side of things, again, UIA, another defensive assist. You have Gotenks on the team, and anytime you see Gotenks, you just know it is pure set play. That is what he's trying to do to you. He is the ultimate set play on a character because of the Ghost Toki. And in the back, again, another defensive assist. In my opinion, the strongest defensive assist this game may have seen, which is Roshi B. Roshi B also serves as a mix-up assist, which is why it probably got nerfed, a little bit broken. But again, a reoccurring theme, right? Both having defensive assists, and even though Goichi doesn't really have set play on hit like the other teams we've seen, Kazunoko definitely has set play on hit with Gotenks, because that is he's the king of set play. And again, two of the strongest defensive assists. So again, we've seen the same pattern over and over again, right? So again, now that we've looked at 3 different regions from kind of the 3 different time periods, this one between the Europe and Japan were around the same time, but the previous tournament wasn't. Notice how even though they're different regions, kind of around different time periods, they're still having the same strat. You still see the recurring theme, and not every team we have seen has had the set play on hit thing. The only team we've seen not having that is Goichi's team he's using right now. They have all had defensive assists in some way, shape, or form. Some more than others, but that is the general idea of it, right? Having defensive assists. So why is that the case? And that is the point of this video, is to show you guys that the strongest type of team you can have in Dragon Ball FighterZ is a defensive team. I've actually known this for a while. I've had conversations with all the best players in the game. To throw some few names out there, you have Nitro, legendary Pred from the USA side of things, all the way to Wawa that I actually had a conversation with him last week during EVO, and he even confirmed that he believes that defensive assists are the strongest type of teams you can have in Dragon Ball FighterZ, period, because it's doing a lot of things for you, right? So for one, it allows you to kind of do what you want without very risk of being challenged, and that might sound a bit scrubby, but these players are trying to win. They're playing for money on the line, so obviously you want to do what you got to do to win, regardless of how scrubby it looks. So being able to kind of be able to whiff something completely, as an example I showed with Kaiden earlier, and just get away with it by calling an assist is extremely powerful, because think about it, especially in a tournament environment where it is first to 2, being able to be wrong, so to speak, let's say you have a read and it was not correct, and being able to be like, dang, I was wrong, I'm going to just call my assist, and I get a get out of jail free card basically. And if the opponent tries to punish something that they typically should be able to, but because you have a defensive assist on your team, they will actually be hit for trying to punish you. So in their heads, they might have been right, but because you have a defensive assist, it doesn't matter. I pause it here because here's an example of it happening again to even Kazunoko. I'm pretty sure Goichi does blue ball. He delays his defensive assist. As you can see, Kazunoko actually tried to press 5L, because right there, typically you can kind of get away with pressing buttons. You see that was his 5L coming out, but because he had defensive assist, that was not your turn to press, and he actually gets a free hit for it. So that is extremely powerful to have on your team. Another reason why defensive assists and by that extent defensive teams have always been the best is because having the ability to have that mind game of where the opponent knows you have a defensive assist, so they are not willing to punish certain things, you can start doing interesting things like using the threat of the assist to get away with stuff, as in getting aggressive like you just seen there, and even calling the assist, or getting aggressive, and because the opponent is scared of the assist because of something that might have happened before, you don't even have to call it sometimes. You can kind of just get away with approaching in a pretty wild way and not even calling the assist, but because the opponent is so scared of it, they're going to give up ground and run away from it, and they just gave up a lot of ground then, because if you don't call the assist, they just kind of gave up ground for no reason at all. So again, the threat of the assist and that mind game that exists, it gets definitely the better groups of players, is so powerful in tournament. And as you can see, all of the best players in the world from each region do have teams that do this, so take it from them. As you can see, that it happened right there. That move is -5, but because Goichi understood that he had Roshi, which is a invincible assist at the time, he did not even move, and Kazunoko just stole a turn. He just pressed it again. That is the exactly what I was talking about. This is so powerful. He's too scared to move. Then he mixes with the assist after the fact. Like, that is extremely powerful. And the other style of team that is strong, which is set play on hit, if you can somehow manage to combine them both, as you starting to see with Kazunoko team, you pretty comfortably have a winning team. As you can see, the strategy is really broken. So again, we addressed that even if it's a defensively and style nature team, that it even helps with the offense, not even just the defense, which is a common misconception I think a lot of people have. They think if you have a defensive team, you can only be defensive, and no, it helps with offense a lot, as you just saw. And even though Kazunoko's looking like he's losing this set, I believe he actually had some of the strongest combinations of both these styles of teams, and surprise, surprise, he ended up winning the set. I'm not going to say his win was entirely the team and not of his own skill, but as you can see, having a very strong team that has a very strong strategy helps a lot. So with that being said, fast forward to the grand finals that just happened last week of Evolution. You look at both these teams, think about what we just figured out in this video. The teams that are typically the strongest are teams that have very strong defensive assists and have very consistent sequences, such as set play on hit or set play for hitting you. So let's decipher this team that keeps winning, right? You have Vegito assist, as you can see, one of the strongest defensive assists, along with 17 barrier, literally #1 and #2 strongest defensive assists. Like that, for example. He was in a bad situation. I'm pretty sure the green one was Yasha, and he simply called his barrier assist, and his defensive assist out defensive assist the other one. This is the strongest type of team when you actually have two of them on the same team, meaning that you have basically 90% of the game just straight get out of jail free cards, and it's very hard for you to be wrong. And as you can see, the proof is in the pudding, because this team has been nerfed multiple times over, and it somehow, some way, still has found itself into another grand finals, and this time a mirror match. So that is just proof that it is the strongest type of team. And obviously, surprise, surprise, the defensive team won, because it was a mirror match. There's only 2 of them in the game right now, or on the screen right now, so it has to win. But regardless, I'm pretty sure that even if there was another team that was against this, if it did not have answers to a team, especially with 2 of the strongest defensive assists, you don't really have a reliable way to beat these type of teams outside of reading every single assist call, which is extremely difficult in a tournament set. So pretty sure Hikari got the W. He did, which it to him. But yeah, the strongest type of team in Dragon Ball FighterZ are the defensively styled teams. If you guys like this type of content, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And I don't usually do this, but can we set a like goal of 250 likes? It would greatly be appreciated, and let me know you guys really enjoy this type of content. But like always, I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. Peace.